BTS, the K-pop sensation that has taken the world by storm, is known for their high-energy performances, captivating stage presence, and undeniable charm. However, even the most seasoned performers can have their fair share of slip-ups and stage fails. In a recent interview, the BTS members shared some of their most memorable stage fail experiences, and their jokes about them had everyone in stitches. Welcome to BTS/Blackpink fan page. Please, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any updates about your favorite celebrities. From RM's slippery slope to Jin's wardrobe malfunction, the BTS members' stage fail stories are a hilarious reminder that even the most polished performers can have an off day. In this article, we'll dive into the BTS members' most memorable stage fail stories and explore what makes them so endearing to their fans. _RM's slippery slope _ RM, the group's leader, recalled a time when he slipped on stage during a performance of DNA. "I was so focused on the choreography that I didn't notice the slippery floor," he said, chuckling. "I ended up doing an impromptu slide, and the crowd thought it was part of the choreography." RM's slippery slope story is a classic example of how even the most experienced performers can have a slip-up. However, it's how RM handled the situation that makes the story so memorable. Instead of getting flustered or embarrassed, RM laughed it off and continued with the performance. Jin's wardrobe malfunction _ Jin, the group's oldest member, shared a hilarious story about a wardrobe malfunction during a performance of Boy with Love. "My pants split open on stage, and I had to do a quick fix while the others were dancing," he said, laughing. "I looked like a cowboy trying to lasso a steer." Jin's wardrobe malfunction story is a great example of how even the most unexpected situations can become comedy gold. Instead of getting embarrassed or flustered, Jin laughed it off and continued with the performance. Suga's mic mishap _ Suga, the group's resident rapper, recalled a time when his mic stopped working during a performance of Mic Drop. "I was so frustrated that I started rapping without a mic," he said, chuckling. "The crowd thought it was a clever trick, but really, I was just desperate." Suga's mic mishap story is a great example of how even the most technical issues can become a source of comedy. Instead of getting frustrated or angry, Suga laughed it off and continued with the performance. J-Hope's dance disaster _ J-Hope, the group's energetic and charismatic member, shared a hilarious story about a dance mistake during a performance of Euphoria. "I got so caught up in the music that I forgot the choreography," he said, laughing. "I ended up doing a weird hybrid of ballet and hip-hop, and the others were trying not to laugh." J-Hope's dance disaster story is a great example of how even the most experienced performers can have a brain fart. Instead of getting embarrassed or flustered, J-Hope laughed it off and continued with the performance. Jimin's stage sprint _ Jimin, the group's dancing machine, recalled a time when he sprinted off stage during a performance of Serendipity. "I got so excited during the performance that I forgot to stay on stage," he said, chuckling. "I had to do a quick sprint back on stage, and the crowd thought it was part of the choreography." Jimin's stage sprint story is a great example of how even the most energetic performers can get carried away. Instead of getting embarrassed or flustered, Jimin laughed it off and continued with the performance. V's vocal vibes _ V, the group's mysterious and artistic member, shared a hilarious story about a vocal mistake during a performance of Stigma. "I got so into the music that I started singing in a weird, vibrato voice," he said, laughing. "The others were trying not to laugh, and the crowd thought it was a clever vocal technique." V's vocal vibe story is a great example of how even the most technical mistakes can become a source of comedy. Instead of getting frustrated or embarrassed, V laughed it off and continued with the performance. Jungkook's backflip blunder _ Jungkook, the group's youngest member, recalled a time when he attempted a backflip during a performance of Not Today and ended up landing on his butt. "I was so embarrassed, but the others just laughed and helped me up," he said, chuckling. "The crowd thought it was part of the choreography, and I was like, yeah, that was totally intentional." Jungkook's backflip blunder story is a great example of how even the most athletic performers can have an off day. Instead of getting embarrassed or flustered, Jungkook laughed it off and continued with the performance.